Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Third Zone. As you know, we're still one episode left in the current era of Doctor Who, and I saw this very interesting article by The Guardian, and that's what we're here to discuss now. So I'll just get straight into it. The article will be in the link description, so you can check it out. I won't be reading the whole article, obviously. But I will be giving my opinion as we read along. So, interview Jodie Whittaker's year in TV. And this is a quote from Jodie herself. Even if there were 13 more, I will always have been the Doctor. That unfortunately is true. The actor on the Doctor Who WhatsApp group being a foodie who can cook, and why she'd like a part in Lord of the Rings. Jodie Whittaker is looking to get a part in Lord of the Rings. Just before we actually get into this article, obviously when we talk about Jodie Whittaker here, we talk about obviously what she did for Doctor Who, but that's different to her personal life. And in her personal life, she has given birth to a healthy second child. Her and her husband have welcomed a new child into the household. So I want to congratulate Jodie and her husband on the arrival of their new baby. Mother and baby seem to be doing both fine, which is actually excellent news. So Jodie Whittaker, 39, was born in West Yorkshire. We know all of that. Her TV work includes Black Mirror and Broadchurch, and in 2017 she joined Doctor Who. Her final series aired in 2021, followed by an Easter special this year, with the last episode to air in autumn, which is the centenary special, which we have been told is an hour and a half. So this is what. This is an interview, and this is the first question she was asked. We've seen your Doctor Who journey near its end over the past year. What have been the highs and lows of filming your final series and specials? Jodie's response was, "There are only highs for me with Doctor Who. I had such an amazing time. It's wonderful to have the specials, and that Mandip Gill who plays Yaz and John Bishop who plays Dan and I are still doing the press for it." That's funny because, again, this is the one criticism we've had for this current era. Now, granted, this is an interview now that we're reading, but the promotion and the press for Jodie Whittaker's era, bar the 4 series, has been pretty shocking since then. It just means I'm pulling off the band-aid a bit more slowly. But even, too bleeding slowly for a lot of fans. But even though there might be 13 more Doctors after me, I will always have been the Doctor. Well, that's true, but some fans will disagree with that quote, to be quite honest with you. And this is where we are in the fandom right now. It's one of those things where the decision to cast Jodie divided the fandom. And we've seen the result over the last 5 years. From the other people who have done it, you know that it's one of those jobs where you're always a part of the family. You don't get kicked out. Have I left the cast WhatsApp group? Absolutely not. And if there's got a new one without me, I'll be devastated. If they've got a new one without me, I'll be devastated. See, her tone in her interviews. This is another reason why I wanted to kind of highlight the tone of her interviews when she has done interviews have been quite cold, in my opinion. But this comes across you know, different. Well, it's a bit late now, you know. Who would you like to play, or who would play you in a TV show of your life? And her response is, Mandip, she absolutely smashed my accent. We have the same voice. Sometimes when we did additional dialogue, they'd ask me to redo a line, and I'd say, that's not me speaking. So let me get this straight. You would get Mandip Gill to play you in a TV show or a movie of your life story. Still to the end with the politics, Miss Whittaker. Anyway, what would you be doing if you weren't doing your job? It's a bit of a stupid question. I've always wanted to run a wine bar or gastro pub, something to do with food and wine, or I'd be I'd be in a really cool band, but just as a backup dancer. I mean, I think you might. I don't know if your career will survive Doctor Who. So if it does, good on you. But if it doesn't, you can always open your wine bar and gastro pub. As for being backup, you only see yourself as a backup dancer. That's actually quite telling there. Have you ever been mistaken for anybody else? I once had the most extraordinary thing happen. Someone thought I was Emily Mortimer. I was like, I wish, she's amazing. It was a dizzy high. I can wander around pretty incognito in general. I've got no presence. Oh my God, this interview is brilliant. The questions are stupid, but the responses are brilliant. Exactly what we've been saying. She's got no presence. And if you've got no presence in real life, how do you expect someone to have some screen presence? Seriously, this is what we've been saying for 5 years. She's no screen presence. If you're going to cast a woman, you could have cast someone who actually had screen presence. She's even admitted in our normal life she's got no presence. The TV show you can't wait to watch in 2022. Lord of the Rings. I love the books and the films. I mean, that was a gig and a half, wasn't it? You get to go to New Zealand. Okay. Well, you've never been to New Zealand, no? Your guilty pleasure, TV pleasure, MasterChef, because I'm a foodie who can't cook. I mean, imagine cooking for Marcus and Monica. I'd shit myself. Well, it seems to be a thing now. I've noticed. I've seen it online an awful lot. Videos of and YouTube videos of women cooking and accidents happening. Today's modern woman, most of the chefs in the industry are men anyway. Just to let you know, and it seems to be the same. Modern women today, especially the younger generation, they don't like cooking, or they can't cook, or they haven't been taught how to cook, which is another sad thing. Everybody should learn how to cook. I learned how to cook pretty early, and my brothers and sisters did. We can all cook, and we can all look after ourselves. But nowadays, you don't see that kind of thing happen anymore. That parents are acting like that. Don't teach their kids. Are you a Succession team Schiff or team Tom? Team Schiff. I think Sarah Snook can do no wrong. She's amazing. Schiff's got questionable motives and behaviors, but what an actor and what a part. She smashes it. And that's the so-called press for this ending. So she says she loves doing the press, but literally nothing about the episode, really. Nothing, actually. But as I said, 13 doctors, she said if there's 13 more, she'll always have been the doctor. That'll be a debate that'll be had in the fandom for years, to be quite honest with you. Me personally, myself, if it's in the TV show, and this is what I say, and I'm going to stay true to it myself, and stay true to myself. If it's in the TV show, it's canon. So, even though I don't like her doctor, and I can ignore it, she is the 13th Doctor, no matter what anybody says. I mean, you can ignore her personally, but she's part of the show. And it doesn't matter whether you think the show died after Peter Capaldi, she's still the 13th Doctor, whether anybody likes it or not. That's the thing. And I don't like it, but that's the reality of the situation. She is the 13th Doctor. So, look, there'll be a revision. There'll be a revision of our era in years to come. And hopefully when society is a bit more sane and fandom has calmed down, and I mean fandom in general, because it's happening in every fandom, all this nonsense, with different factions going after each other and stuff like that. When all of that settles down, there'll be a revision of all of this current TV and movie stuff that has been coming out over the years. Movies and TV shows that have obviously caused a lot of debate, and for the media to draw lines and draw sides and stuff. And the same with fandom. So there will be a revision of all of this the years to come. And, people hopefully will have their heads screwed on and will have a head on their shoulders, basically, and will have a brain and will analyse this with a fine-tooth comb and tell us what was really. Look, at the end of the day, you make the decisions that Chris Chibnall done or did. You made the decisions that Chris Chibnall did, then you end up with where we are now. BBC should never have bowed to his demands. On one hand, in one interview, he says that he auditioned both men and women, and then as soon as he gets the job, he comes out and contradicts himself and says, "Well, that was the deal that I did with BBC. Basically, if I could cast a woman, I'll come on and take on the show, and let me do what I want with it." And I'll say BBC. And look, BBC get accused of being super woke and all of this, but I'm telling you now, right? They have been woke over the years. We know that, but I don't think they even imagined how bad Doctor Who would get, and the lessons have to be learned from that. And that's why I don't think RTD. Listen, there's a horrible rumor, or I'm just going to say it out straight. It's not a rumor, right? At the end of the day, in January, RTD, in a Radio Times interview, Stephen Moffat before him, in an interview, said that Doctor Who should do its own kind of multiverse. Moffat kind of alluded to the fact that there kind of was with the Sarah Jane Adventures and Torchwood, and it needed to basically expand. Right? This is nothing new, right? Then we get this rumor, apparently, right, that all of a sudden has surfaced that in February, Toby Stephens was cast, and then BBC intervened and told Sony and Bad Wolf, basically, that they couldn't cast Toby Stephens, that they had to cast a person of colour. I've never heard such absolute tripe in all my life. All right? Absolute tripe, right? There seems to be a confusion here. BBC has no say in what Sony and Bad Wolf Productions do with Doctor Who. BBC Studios is the commercial arm Okay? They have no creative input into the show. BBC handed that right over to Bad Wolf Studios. And as we know, Sony got a stake in Bad Wolf Studios. This is a Bad Wolf Studios and Sony production. Now, what happens with why is BBC Studios involved? Well, it's quite simple. BBC Studios will distribute the show, just like Sony will probably distribute the show internationally in regions that Doctor Who is probably not currently in right now. It'll have a broader worldwide appeal. Okay? There's a confusion here that BBC can snap their fingers and say, well, you have to do this and have to do that. The casting of Ncuti Gatwa was down to RTD. Nobody else, no stipulation from the BBC. Okay? They are not making any decisions here. And if people actually did their research, they would find this. It's there for everybody to see. BBC have basically leased out Doctor Who to Bad Wolf Productions. And I'm going to tell you one thing now. RTD would not have come back if he has to bow the knee to the BBC. And also, I've heard people say, well, he's in favour of the BBC, this, that, and the other. So what? He likes the BBC. It doesn't mean because he likes the BBC that the BBC tell him to do something with a thing that the property now that he's actually controlling right now. For them to come and say, well, Russell, you can't do that. I'm sorry. Like, you have to tell Sony, you know, and yourselves, you can't. You have to hire a person of colour. I've never heard such tripe. And then a big YouTuber then went and rolled with a video. All of a sudden, the video came out of nowhere, right? And then I get sent a very interesting screenshot of the origins of this rumour. And it's exactly the same rumour that this big YouTuber is talking about. This is not from a source, by the way, right? It's the typical someone who knows someone who knows someone who's supposed to know someone. Okay? And this could have been the situation, by the way. Because here's the thing. The other side never think that maybe Toby Stephens was in the line just like all the other actors and did his interview. And then Ncuti was the last person that they actually did an audition for, right? And if you even hear RTD's interview, right, he literally says, oh, we thought we already had our doctor, right? So Ncuti comes in, does it, blows them all away, right? And then he gets the job, right? This is nothing new, by the way. This happened under RTD before. He had his doctor before, and then that person wouldn't do it or didn't want to do it, and then he cast someone else, right? This has been a recurring theme throughout New Who, right? They don't always get the actor that they want, or someone might come in and blow them away. Same with Matt Smith. Stephen Moffat had someone else in mind, and Matt Smith was the last one to come in, and then he got the role. So listen, all I'm just going to say to people is, right, there's going to be people out there that are deliberately putting misinformation out there because they want to fuel the fire of this whole thing that Doctor Who is dead, that Doctor Who cannot revive itself now because of the castings RTD has made, right? That this is more BBC propaganda, right? It's absolute rubbish, man. Every decision, listen, we've been talking about this ever since RTD has come back. I've told you and made this clear, and people have agreed with me throughout all of this process, right? RTD would never have come back if he has to listen to what BBC want. He's been looking at this and analysing this for the last 5 years, by the way. Okay? And he will see what's gone right, and he will see what's gone wrong. Right? There's no way he's going to make the same mistakes as Chris Chibnall. No way. And there's no way he'd come back, right, for Sony then to come in and have a stake in Bad Wolf, then for BBC to turn around and say, well, Russell, you might be running the show now, and you know, it might be a Bad Wolf production in conjunction with people, but we're here to tell you, you can't cast Toby Stevens. You have to cast a person of color. Yeah, that's happening, folks. Yeah, that's happening. BBC is telling Sony and Bad Wolf what to do. Yeah. Yeah. If you believe that, well then I'm sorry, you know, this fandom is gone further than I thought, to be quite honest with you, and you will believe absolute anting. Right? There's no evidence even to back this up. No evidence to back this up whatsoever. The only bit of thing that they could jump on is, and I'll say it out straight, is the fact that RTD did claim that he had his doctor already chosen at one stage before Shooty, I think. Did he say that in the interview? So that's the only thing. But look, even if Toby Stevens was cast, or Toby Stevens was in the line and basically the job was nearly his, it could change. It could change. There's no guarantees in this industry. But I just believe that there are people just deliberately trying to fuel the fire. I just say, as I've always said, you have to wait and see what he does with the show before you make any judgments, right? Yes, some of you have a problem with the castings. You think it's more the same. That's fine, fair enough. Have those opinions all you want, right? But you've got to wait and see what happens, right? A lot of you are jumping the gun and basically think that this is going to be absolute rubbish. You don't know that. I don't know that, right? And until then, you know, we just have to wait and see. And that's where I've always stood on it anyway. Right, folks, I'm going to leave it there. Obviously, as you can tell, this is a pre-record. So if you have any opinions, please leave it in the comment section. Thank you. And let me know what you guys think. Of course, I'm just giving my opinions, as I said. But you know, it's as I said, very interesting time in the fandom right now. And it's let's hope it everything calms down when we get a few more announcements, because you know, until the Whittaker era is and Chibnall era is officially over, which is not until October. We're gonna have a lot of this going on in the fandom until there are more, as I said, until RTD and Bad Wolf make more announcements and whatever, because you know, this era just needs to hurry up, basically. I just wish they had a drop. I don't know. You know, I can understand why they're putting it. I can understand why they're putting it on for the centenary, because it's 100 years of BBC, and Doctor Who was one of those programs that did shape BBC back in the day. It was one of their big hits that they never really treated with respect anyway, let's be honest with it. But the people that worked on the show, especially the classic years, you could tell, you know, there was a lot of, even if there was conflicts backstage and or behind the scenes and stuff like that, they all cared about what they were doing with the show. I can't really say the same about the current production team. Whittaker's, Chibnall's production team, I should say. I don't want people getting confused saying I'm criticising RTD. I'm not. But as I said from the beginning, I'm giving RTD a chance, no matter what. That's I've said that. Yous have all yous that subscribe to me know that. I've said it. It didn't matter. Even if he cast a woman, I'd give him a season. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And it doesn't matter who he's cast. I'll just wait and see what happens. And if it's not good, it's not good. If it's great, then brilliant. We've got Doctor Who back being great again. And that's all we all want as fans at the end of the day. We just want this show to be great. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. As I said, leave a comment, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, if you remember, there's we threw up another member stream with myself and Marty. I hope to get another one done this week. If it's not this week, it'll be next week. So I'll give you a reminder about that one. To everybody else, thank you for the support. And as I said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later, folks. Have a good one. Goodbye. Good evening, I should say. It's a lovely and sunny here as well. So wherever you are in the world, have a good day or good evening or good morning in some cases. Bye.